Hey James, how's it going? This is Ryan with TrendLizard.com. I hope all is well. All is well on this end. I want to take a look at a couple tickers that you emailed to me as a pro level subscriber at TrendLizard.com. We're going to take a look at Nucor, NUE, and we're also going to take a look at Broadcom, AVGO. So we're going to start with Nucor here. This guy's been around since 1983. Had some action, obviously, for a couple decades here that means very little to us. Really, all we care about is what we've seen since about 2003. Got a really nice, trendy five-wave move to the upside. Obviously, that dictates the direction of the trend because we're looking for five-wave moves to dictate the direction of the trend. So that kind of set the stage back then, and then it followed up with a very long but very clear ABC pullback over the course of, looks like, since about 2008 to 2020, so about 12 years. Massive sideways pattern that gave way to a huge breakout off the March 2020 low to the upside from there. So this move obviously looks trendy off the 2020 low. Obviously, everything else that's happened in the life of Nucor on a long-term time frame is bullish. So Nucor obviously is bullish on a long-term time frame. All we really need to care about is where it is in this up leg off the 2020 low to determine if it's getting closer to a high and a larger pullback or not. So let's go ahead and zoom in and take a look at just at the action off that 2020 low. Here is that action. It was a little bit slower start relative to what's happened in 2021, a little bit choppy, but it still looks like a trendy five-wave move that completed in late 2020, a second wave pullback, and then in 2021 is when it's really kicked it into gear, more than doubled its value over that time, and this looks like a third wave advance, and it has the trajectory of a third wave advance, which again looks very bullish. So overall, in the advance off that 2020 low, it looks to me like we had a first wave, a second wave, a big third wave, and then off of that 2021 high, a fourth wave pullback. That may or may not be complete. We'll take a little bit closer look. I think you have to consider it complete. But I'll show you as we zoom in. So let's go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and zoom in on this action off the 2021 high to see what we're looking at here. Now here's the pullback that we've seen. It does look like a general ABC pullback, which is a good sign. It looks like a counter trend move. Wave C here is quite small. Generally, wave C is comparable in size to wave A. That has not necessarily been the case over the last year and a half. We've seen a lot of short C waves. Bottom line, the pullback does look like a counter trend move. It'd be solidified as a counter trend move if Nucor can move above 102. That's a 61.8% retracement of this down leg that's happened so far. And when we see that, we can be pretty confident that this is in fact a counter trend down move. Now the action that we've seen off of July's low does have a trendy look to it. It does have the potential to mark a low and represent the start of a larger fifth wave advance to new highs, because as you can see, it has taken a five-wave move. So the way I would play it, if you own Nucor, continue to own it with a stop at 92. If you don't own it, you can buy it with a stop at 92. And as long as it's trading above 92, we're going to expect that this pullback that began in June is over, that it's a counter trend move and is over, and that the uptrend has resumed, and that we are now in this fifth wave to the upside to complete a larger five-wave move off that 2020 low. So when that five-wave move does complete, it's going to be time to step aside because it'll indicate a much larger pullback, something that should last several months and correct this entire advance, and it's a very large advance. So that would be our cue to step aside. That's down the road. For now, you have to be bullish on this guy, and as long as it's trading above 92, we're going to consider current strength the start of a fifth wave up to new highs and beyond. So there is Nucor. Let's go ahead and shift over to Broadcom, AVGO, however you want to call it. This guy, at least under this ticker, has been trading since 2009. And basically over the course of its life, it has only gone up aside from one blip in 2019 and 2020. This action fits as a pretty darn clear and fairly apparent five-wave move into the 2019 high. From there, it gave us a very clear ABC counter trend pullback that retraced about 50% of the preceding five-wave up leg. And since then, again off of that March 2020 low, it has shot to the upside in what fits as a third wave advance. So the big question is, where is it in this third wave advance? Is this third wave advance over? Is it going to continue? That's the question we seek to answer. So let's go ahead and zoom in on that action off the 2020 low. So my initial impression of this advance up to 2020 low is that gave us a first wave to here, a second wave pullback, a third wave advance, and then a fourth wave pullback into May's low, and is currently in the fifth wave of the advance up to 2020 low. This is a pretty common labeling I'm seeing across a bunch of different stocks, so it fits here as well, but I don't think it's a guarantee yet, and I'll show you other possibilities that we need to be aware of. But as you can see, everything counts out quite well here. What's very clear is that the 2021 pullback is a counter trend move, so no matter how you label this thing, you have to be bullish and expect it to continue higher. Now, the thing that AVGO needs to do is to remain trendy off of May's low to confirm that the 2021 pullback is over. So let's go ahead and zoom in on recent action. Here's what's happened off of May's low. It certainly has trendy potential. Price action has been funky lately across the board, so I'm not holding too high of a standard for anything, any individual stock, but it looks like a first wave up, and then this funky expanded ABC correction here. Again, it's not the prettiest thing, but it does look like a counter trend move. As long as this action off of May's low continues to look trendy and not like a counter trend move, we can expect it to continue higher, again, as a fifth wave advance within that advance off the 2020 low. However, if at any point AVGO breaks down, moves below 438, it would indicate that this is a counter trend move, and suddenly this pullback off of the 2021 high became much larger. If that happens, I think we would have to change this labeling and think that maybe something more like this happened, where the five-wave move had already completed and this 2021 action is actually a larger ABC pullback to the downside. So this is not our preferred scenario. Right now, the preferred scenario is that we're going to continue higher in a fifth wave, but if at any point Broadcom moves below 438, we're going to have to shift that and think that a larger pullback is playing out, something like this. Again, either way, it's bullish overall because this 2021 pullback is a counter trend move, but obviously the timing is greatly impacted by whether it can stay above 438 or not. So hopefully that's helpful, James. Have a great rest of your week, and we will talk to you again very soon. Take care.